Welcome back to PSL on the Mic. We're in the studio today with Ms. Kate Parmalee, who we've been trying to get in here for a long time now, and now we have the perfect opportunity. Kate is our Deputy City Manager for Strategic Initiatives and Innovation, a newly formed title for her, so congratulations.
Thank you so much, and thanks so much for having me on. It's an honor.
Of course. First, I want you to tell us what you do here at the city. A lot of people are probably listening, strategic initiatives and innovation. What exactly is that?
Absolutely. So my job really, it starts with the street and ends with the strategic plan. So I get to work with the mayor and city council and the city manager and all the city departments on figuring out where does Port St. Lucie want to go and do everything from the research to resident engagement to talking and knitting it all together and weaving together the story of where we're heading. And so I really love to work on that because it's really about where the organization wants to evolve and change and how the city wants to change and improve and make things better for residents. So I get to work on some of that kind of cross-departmental work. And I also oversee, grants and advocacy. And that was when we were talking about what we wanted to do, we realized we really need more funds to be able to do that. So I work on generating funds through grants and advocacy work with our state and federal partners. And the innovation work came because we also saw that part of our work in moving them as being a high-performing government organization, which is in our strategic plan, is we need to utilize innovation to come up with new ideas and to solve problems and make things more efficient.
That's awesome. We're actually going to be speaking with Mayor Martin soon about all of the grants from 2023 and just how important it is for us to get these grants, and that it's not all taxpayer money that helps pay for everything that we do for our residents here. So that's going to be a really interesting and podcast that we really need our listeners to have. So a few months ago, I want to say, we talked to Mayor Martin about her trip to Bloomberg, Harvard City Leadership Initiative. That's what we're going to be talking about today. That and another certification program called What Works Cities. And she had a blast. She said it was a very small part of a podcast that we were filming that day. But I want you to explain now that you and our city manager, Jesus Morejo, also went a few weeks after the mayor.
Yes.
What did that entail? What does it mean for the city? Tell us about that.
Sure, and I think I might need to take a little bit of a step back and kind of how did we get involved, and
let's do it
in the first place. Several years ago, speaking about grants, we were looking for some grants for the city to try to help move some things forward, and we stumbled upon the Bloomberg Mayor's Challenge Grant Program.
And this is Mike Bloomberg, New York.
Yeah, so former mayor of New York, Mike Bloomberg, has a foundation, Bloomberg Philanthropies, or it's a corporate. It helps some of their revenue from Bloomberg actually funds the foundation of the philanthropic work. And what's amazing is when he was mayor of the city of New York City, he really learned as mayor that how he learned was he went to other cities to learn their best practices to bring them back to New York. And he really found that accelerated their ability to make change and innovation. And so in his foundation and through Bloomberg Philanthropies, they really replicate their model and teach other cities kind of what they learned and help cities learn from each other, which is such a great idea. Yeah. And it's a wonderful resource for cities all over the world. And so they do something called the Mayor's Challenge, where they actually challenge you to solve an issue that could actually be shared with cities around the world.
Okay.
And so we had applied. We didn't get chosen.
Okay.
But we got far enough along in the process where they offered us a technical workshop on how to do design thinking and how to solve a problem. So they actually flew a designer down to Port St. Lucie and worked with us early on in my tenure in Port St. Lucie. And it was a great experience.
Yeah.
And it kind of got me interested in innovation and human-centered design. And that was kind of the beginning. And so since then, we've really looked at all the other things they do. And they have a huge suite of programs. And the investments they make in cities are just amazing. And it's such a great group of people and very supportive. So we were invited through some of our work to apply to the Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Initiative. The Mayor Martin was.
Right.
And that was really amazing because you do have to be invited to apply.
So we've been involved with Bloomberg Philanthropies for a while then.
Yes, with just different forays into it. We're trying to, and we've really taken advantage of those free educational opportunities they offer. And all of this is at no cost to the city. It's
wonderful.
Again, the city doesn't have a lot of corporate philanthropy opportunities in the city. So we were really looking at what other foundations care about cities and the work that we're doing. And where can we find resources to help support all this innovative work we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And they're really the leader, the global leader on this. So we've started to continue to participate in that. And so to be invited to apply and then to be chosen to participate in the Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Initiative, one of only 40 cities in the entire world.
In the world, folks.
Huge honor for the
That's
city
great.
and for
That's
the
awesome.
mayor. And then we get to bring that learning back to our team.
So you and Jesus went up
Yes.
a few weeks after Mayor Martin.
Correct. So we experienced, so that you work with professors from Harvard University, so the mayors have the same education as the senior leaders. They call us the senior leaders.
Okay.
But then it's fun because the staff gets to come in. It's all done in a case study style. So we would read a case study about in a situation in Japan about transportation. And then we would all talk about that or, something as a class. And so you're collaborating with people from all over the world. I mean, Cape Town, South Africa was in our class. There's all of these different amazing cities, and and what was fascinating is the senior leaders have a different perspective. So the mayors and the elected officials would have one perspective, the senior leaders would have another, and and it all talks about how do you address challenges that your cities are facing as you grow, and you learn from each other. And it was fascinating. We're cities from all over the world that are different places, but we are facing many similar issues. And
Of course.
And so they teach you new techniques and ways to approach and how to problem solve and how to deepen our knowledge. And so they told us, they're like, you're going to learn more from each other than anything we teach you.
Sure.
And it was definitely, we learned so much
was
from the
true.
professors, but then also just the experience of having that kind of global learning experience was really transformational that we could bring back here.
And there's also now another exciting thing happening here at the city with what Works Cities.
Yes.
Which is actually are they partnered with Bloomberg or just an offshoot?
They're another program that's funded by Bloomberg Philanthropies. And so What Works Cities is another program where they just try to improve government performance. And one of their philosophies is that follow the data.
It's all about
you
data.
You need to bring the data, and it helps governments get better to make better decisions if we're looking at the data to become more data informed. And so What Works Cities is a certification program that actually gives us a criteria of how do you know if you're a data informed city. And they have these different pillars, and then cities take an assessment and you figure out where you are and you see how you're doing compared to cities around the world. And then it helps us, again, just like we use data to see with the citizen survey, how do we rank from others so we know where to start, what do we need to do. We did the same thing with the What Works Cities assessment, is that and it gives us a roadmap of okay, we're doing really good in this area, but this is an area we need to improve in. So that's what it shows.
So it's a certification process that we have to apply for,
Yes.
correct? Now, a team was here a few months ago, I believe sometime in the summer. So when you talk about they analyze, what works here and maybe what doesn't work as well and what we can improve on, what is our focus going to be according to that? What are we going to be focusing on most?
Right. Yeah. There's different tiers. There's a silver is the beginning certification. There's only 62 cities certified in the world, so we're trying to be 63rd.
Yay.
And there's silver, gold, and then platinum.
Okay.
And so we have opportunities to keep leveling up, and we
Every year, every 5 years,
absolutely,
is it?
yeah.
Okay.
At least every year, and
Okay.
sometimes more frequent. But you can continue to improve and put things into the portal and say, look, we're doing this or we learned this. But what taking the assessment did was it gave us a coach, all for free, which was amazing. It also gave us access to a portal where we can learn from cities from around the world. And so I could put a question in saying, we're having this issue. Have you ever experienced it? And I can get responses from all over the world almost the same day.
Okay.
Well, this worked for us here in Toronto. This worked for us. And it's just really an incredible way to, again, the philosophy of cities aren't competitors, we're collaborators.
Right.
So if you figured something out, share it with us and maybe we'll do it here. We talk about our Citizen Summit to cities around the world. We're you might want to try this because this is what we figured out here and it might work for you. So that's what's part of that. So when we got the report back, what we saw was that we really need to focus on our data management. We are sitting on a lot of great databases, but we need to better utilize the data that we have.
And have it more readily available
Yes.
as well to our residents.
Right. And
Yeah.
so one of the things they taught us as a best practice is that we're going to be doing is an open data portal where we have some data already on our website, but we're going to say, here's the other data you can also obtain, or here's more, we're going to make more data accessible. Because we'd love at the Citizen Summit, we're even going to have residents be able to play around the data and maybe they can come up with some more insights from it. So again, it's just opening things up, making it more transparent, and learning from the data, and it helps you to kind of keep solving problems.
Is there anything we're doing currently right now with that? Is there data that we're inputting that we know maybe we're not so strong on, that we know we have to improve on? Are we working to add stuff to that portal or database now?
Absolutely, yeah. So we actually, our innovation team, through which is departments throughout the city, we're doing an inventory right now of all the data we have, and then we're seeing like what. A lot of times I ask departments, what data do we not have, like that you need?
That's the most important question.
Yeah. Like what's missing for you to make a great decision or come up with that? So we're really challenging that question. And one of the areas I work in is performance management. So we come up with like key performance indicators for this department. And so maybe based on what you're doing, maybe we need to get other performance indicators to be able to tell like how's it going, to give you information and what we need to change.
Okay,
or
awesome.
make better. Yeah.
And how long does this process take?
Yes.
And when do we know about certification? And
Sure. So we just, we did our assessment, and they told us when they said it's probably going to take a year for you to become certified. I really wanted to push us to see if we could do it faster. And because I felt like we were close in some areas. We're really strong in the strategic plan and the budget management.
And it's not just about data, it's about everything.
Our collaborative leadership. So many things we were doing. We were doing well, but there was just some areas that we hadn't really even started, like even our results-driven contracting, like all of there's a few different pillars that you are evaluated on. And I thought we could maybe make some progress. And they were like, well, good luck, but we think you need more time. But
it'll be a year.
We'll see. So they were really pleasantly surprised when we actually, we scored high enough to trigger a site visit earlier than they expected.
Okay.
So which means they fly into Port
See,
St.
we'll
Lucie.
show you. We can do it.
It was like it gave us like a goal, and we were tenacious as a team. So they came in and they spent 2 days with us, and they further evaluated our practices. They met with our team, and I was impressed with our city leadership team because they would say, instantly the leadership team was like, well, if we're going to get silver, like how do we get to gold? Like everyone was like really bought in, which was great.
We're such overachievers.
We are overachievers, but very committed, passionate people, which is wonderful. So
when their team was here, I remember meeting them in our new communications area. And you guys went on site visits too. I mean, they site visited us here, but you took them out. Where did you guys take them?
Yeah, well, we thought, we use water quality data to figure out where we're going to put infrastructure. So we thought, well, we also want them to get a sense of who we are. So we took them on a boat tour of the city and talked about St. Lucie River water quality data. We talked about McCarty Ranch and planning for future water supply. We took them out to McCarty Ranch when we told them about the police department and how, the data-informed practices of the police department. They're really a leader in the city. That's why we're one of the safest cities in the country. And so we went to the police department, and the chief went over their practice with them. So we really tried to show them in person, like how we work, and had a wonderful experience with the team from What Works Cities. And, and they really encouraged us through the work with Bloomberg, that their team was so encouraging and supportive. You feel like, I don't think we're ready yet because we're always like, we were building, and they said, just apply. And they really encouraged us, and which I'm so glad we did, because then we were able to get the support needed to continue to improve. And that's what they're there for, which is so helpful. So right now in December, the Standards Committee is going to review. So they completed the site visit.
Okay.
Standards Committee is meeting
earlier
this month.
than anticipated.
Yeah. They're meeting this month, and so we'll know in January if we're certified.
Oh my! Oh, so it's like coming
up.
Oh, okay. Because you said a year, but this has already been in the process for
so we've been
earlier
working
this past year.
Yes, we started working for a few months, but we thought it would take us till into the next year.
So this is all well and good and amazing. What can we tell our residents about this? How is this benefiting them? It's benefiting us as a city, of course. How does it benefit them?
Right. So how that is it's a way for us to see, are we a well-run or well-managed government? And so this gives us a tool to see how we're doing, and that helps us be more efficient with our taxpayer dollars. And if we are better at using data, we can better serve residents, save time, save money, make sure the services are more targeted and improved. And so it translates to better services for residents, and we're going to follow the data, so it's more focused on the facts and being able to be a better government, to exceed expectations, hopefully, for our residents.
And serve our residents and our citizens better.
Absolutely. So it's all about getting better.
All what we're here for. And it's the Citizen Summit. It's very similar to our Citizen
Yeah.
Summit, which is coming up this coming February.
Right.
Where we take all the input and data that we receive from our residents at this event, as well as the I always say National Community Survey. Is that right?
It's right.
I thought it was Community
You're so
National
good.
for some reason. And there's a survey that we send out every
Yeah.
year. That's in January, correct? Is that
It
around
is.
January?
And all of those things, actually, we put in our certification assessment and
Of
got
course,
us and helped
yeah.
us score very high because we do that. But then we learned something new through the process that we just instituted a couple months ago through the certification, and that's creating a STAT meeting. So we do something called PSL STAT now every quarter. So I
Okay.
oversee the strategic plan, and we have data related to the strategic plan. But now we, as a team, have this stat meeting where you sit in a room and you go through like all of the outcomes, like here's, and the data that relate to each of the strategic plan items, and we analyze it together as a team.
Where does that come from? Like from
Great
events
question.
or?
Yeah, so from everything, like it
Okay.
might be, here's the survey results at the last NICE meeting that we got.
Oh, perfect.
Here's
Okay.
here's the community survey results, or here is the traffic accident trends from the police department. These are our three
So it's
top
everything.
intersections everything in the
Okay.
strategic plan. Here's our three top intersections where we're having the most issues.
Okay.
So we look at that and we make, and what's great is we collaborate. But that came out of that's a best practice that What Works City recommends. The whole performance stat process started actually in the city of Baltimore and their police department, where they started using stats to get better. Our police department does the same thing.
Awesome.
So now we're trying to bring that to the rest of general government.
This is all great. Do you have anything you want to add?
I just think I just can't express our gratitude enough to Bloomberg Philanthropies, to What Works Cities, to the Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Initiative, to all of the amazing programs that they offer our city. It has just been such an extraordinary experience for our whole team. I mean, we now have a team of 12 people going through the Bloomberg Harvard Leadership Innovation track with us,
Right.
working on an issue that was generated by citizens at the last Citizen Summit, and they're giving us all of these new tools to better serve residents. So I'm excited about where this can take the city, and I love that we can learn from cities all around the world to make our city one of the best cities in the world.
I agree 100%. I'm going to backtrack for 1 second because you said something that came out of the Citizen Summit from last year that your 12 people are working on.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, so part of the Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Initiative is you pick a track,
Okay.
and we picked the innovation track, and they send you resources and send you through additional training that you expand to more people on your team that teaches you innovation techniques. So what we are working on is the lack of neighborhood green space and preserves was an issue that the Citizen Summit residents say they care about.
Okay.
So we are trying to figure out how do we do that? How do we deliver that in an innovative way through high performance public spaces where you can have multiple benefits? We have limited land. We want to create more green space.
Right.
Improve benefits for neighborhoods. So we just had their designers flew in here again. This is at no cost to the city. It was through the program, and they had a workshop and they taught us all these new design techniques. And we're going to be interviewing residents. They're teaching us how to do ethnographic interviewing and just all these great new
What
skills.
an opportunity for us.
Yeah, just
So
to
great.
get better and to learn. And then what's great is we're doing a prototype, but then we're going to replicate that through everything we do. So it's just more tools in our toolbox to better serve our residents.
It sounds like we're doing everything right, and I can't wait until January now to find out. Well, not to find out. We know we're
Yeah.
going to be certified. It's just a
I
matter
hope
of
so.
time
We
at
hope
this
so.
point.
And we have to.
hope so.
Yeah, we hope so. The standards committee is reviewing, but we are feeling hopeful.
That's all we can feel. Kate, thank you so much for finally making it to our studio.
Thank
I'm
you
so
for having
happy we had a few minutes to chat with you. And I hope you have a very happy holiday. And I know we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much, Maureen. You
Thanks,
too.
Kate.
Thanks.